Hey there, movie fans. Went to the theater today and I just saw Upgrade. Now, I have to say, it was not a bad film. It's a tiny little film. And for those of you that aren't familiar with it, it's by Blumhouse Productions, the same people that brought you Happy Death Day and The Purge. I haven't seen any of those movies because I'm not a horror movie fan, but this was more of an action movie, so I went and saw it. So, to give a quick synopsis without giving too many spoilers, the main character is named Gray, and he's played by uh, Logan Marshall Green, who has he's been in a few other movies, but we'll talk about that later. So he plays a man named Gray, and the world is actually set in the future, which doesn't really show that in the movies, as far as I could tell. But it's in the future. Everything is technology based. We have self-driving cars. We have everybody's got some type of technological upgrade. All the tables are sort of like tablets where the wife wants to order pizza, and everything in the world is kind of automated. And it's also set in a world of have and have nots, where everybody's either rich or homeless. Um, and Gray is more of a everyman kind of dude. He doesn't like to. He likes to work with his hands. He has a car that just runs off of gas, and he can drive. He builds, repairs old cars. He wants to actually make the pizza instead of going to get it. He kind of likes to do everything for himself and not live in an automated world. And even so much as in somewhere in the movie where somebody mentions that they're going to have the next technological step, he looks at it as putting people out of work. So the movie kind of has an anti-technology message to it, which it doesn't get too preachy, which can hurt some movies. This one has a kind of little underlying tale to it, so it wasn't too bad. So anyway, he and his wife get into an accident, and unfortunately, the wife dies. Like I said, this is in the preview, so nothing too. And so he's paraplegic, and so he can't move. He can't do anything for himself. His mother's taking care of him, and he gets a chance to receive a computer chip in his spine to where he's able to walk and move around. And so as he's searching for his wife, killer, which is very cliche, is nothing new. We've seen this kind of storyline all around the world for many many years. He realizes that the computer chip can do a lot more, to the point to where the computer is actually talking to him, and initially it freaks him out, but then he gets used to it, and then he finds out that it's also the computer can do a lot more with his body instead of just speaking to him, and that's where the movie kind of goes off from there and does its own thing. And it's a fun little ride, yeah, and it has its little bit of twists and turns, and the ending is actually a little bit different than one would expect. And I enjoyed it for what it was. It's not a bad movie. It's about an hour and a half, so it's not too long, not too short. I have to say they tried to a lot of the scenes that should be a little bit more impactful came off a little bit flat to me. It just seemed just everything just kind of very, for lack of a better term, generic and basic. But that wasn't really a bad thing. It was a very decent movie. I would recommend it. But I will say this movie does not pull any punches. It's rated R, and it's rated R for a reason. Not for any type of adult themes, but for the violence itself. There's a guy who gets shot, and you can tell he gets shot. There's blood and guts in this movie, not to the level of 1980s RoboCop, but pretty close. And there's some graphic scenes there. So if you don't want to take the little ones there, that makes perfect sense to me. But for all you other guys out there that likes to see a decent action movie, this one will do it for you. So anyway, like I said, that's been my 2 cents on the movie Upgrade. Go see it. I will say one of the biggest detractions from it is that the main star who plays Gray has a very uncanny resemblance to Tom Hardy. The entire time I'm watching the movie and just watching all of his mannerisms, I couldn't just help but look at him and go, Tom Hardy. If you've seen the new Venom trailer, it's almost uh, cookie cutter, copy paste, however you want to look at it. So I don't know. It just seemed that way. And after I saw the movie, I watched a few reviews on Upgrade, And a lot of people said the exact same thing, that as they were looking at this guy, they kept seeing Tom Hardy. And I would have to say he's not this guy is not a bad actor. This Logan Marshall Green, he did the job perfectly fine. You just couldn't help but just see him as the other guy who's a little bit more popular. And for those of you who don't know who Tom Hardy is, he's the actor in the new Venom movie, but he's been in a ton of other movies like Mad Max, Fury Road. He played as Bane in The Dark Knight Rises. He's been in a lot of movies, so he has a much more established base in Hollywood. But the similarities are just uncanny. Anyway, if you saw the movie, what were your thoughts on Upgrade? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Do you plan on go seeing it? Let me know. Post it in the comments below. If you like this video, smash that like button. If you want to hear more of my movie reviews or anything about certain TV shows or video games or live streams or unboxings or any of my giveaways that I do each and every single month, hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. YouTube will let you know every time, or they've changed things to where you can do it every time or every once in a while. I'm not 100% sure, but check it out. Anyway, that's it for me for now. Until next time. Peace.